The people who make business decisions at Activision Blizzard have not the faintest idea what PR is for any of the decisions. They don't care. They just go, number makes sense. Number makes sense. You know, they don't go, what does this look like in 5 years? What does the outcry look like? And you'd think of all companies in the goddamn video game world, they would understand that after the past couple of years, but they clearly don't.
I feel that to a degree, some of the leadership class, you know, I don't know if it's like they're used to other industries.
They clearly are, because that's the whole thing. Like, but they're hiring. They don't hire video game people. Yeah. They hire industry people. They hire corporate people.
Absolutely. Like, gamers are smart. Like, that's the thing.
And also,
they are smart. They care. We interact with systems on a daily basis, right? Yep. Like, and in fairness, like, we're a tough crowd. We are a tough crowd. We also reward people when stuff's done well, but we are a tough crowd. But that's because we're generally a bit more tech savvy. We generally are fairly online, which means we are looped into the Torment Nexus and have so much knowledge that it's now a detriment. Yeah. But that does just mean we are well armed with arguments. It's, you know, a situation where, I don't know, there's some deal in the shop and, you know, me or you might be like, oh, that's a bit exploitative and bullshit. Yeah. But somebody who's not a gamer is like, I'm going to notice that. Like, we're always like, what are you trying to do now? How are you trying to get us? What's the scheme?
We're used to it.
And in so much of the economy, no, you know, people are not like, this comes from Nestle, I won't buy it. Yeah. They don't care. It's very different. We're a very different audience. We're a tough crowd.
It's not even that so much, because I think that happens to an awful lot of detriment in video games, and we'll probably talk about that at some point in the future. But I think it is, to old and cynical before our time. That's what it feels like, because the important part is we've grown up with the industry, especially, I'm sure, like, we know the audience demographics of this channel. We've grown up with video games.
Yeah, I think we're on what average, like, slightly younger than you.
Yeah, we know what video games are. We've been at their start. We've been where they're going. We've seen it all. We get to go, that's not how it used to be.
I remember.
We want it the way it used to be. We don't care what you offer. We literally see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But also, it is such an engaging hobby that there's no way you don't get super hyper engaged, especially because, like, one part of this, and I think I'll try not to get too over deep in this, but you're watching TV, right? You watch TV, that's the end of your engagement. Not with video games, and especially not with online games. Mm-hmm. Because in World of Warcraft, I have a question about that. I go online, I go to forums. I need to find other people to talk to. Whereas you can do that in TV, but that's watching deleted scenes, or like commentaries or talking about it online. It's not quite as deep as how tremendously involved we actually are in communities, which means we get to talk, which means we get to go, oh yeah, we have this big community, talk about this. This is now this has gone worse. We are way smarter than I'd say on average, any other consumer industry this large. Obviously, there's if there's people who are buying high-end chessboards, they're probably pretty in tune. Yeah, or they're super niche.
If you're in the camera, you know, if you're a camera person and it's like, oh, Black Magic have changed the deal, or oh, look at Red, they're being evil bastards with their storage format. But like generally speaking, not as clued in as we are. And you know, it's the funny thing as time goes on, and one of the reasons why I try to be really hard on all this is it's something that, like, I guess I've learned. So, right, video games. We're in the games industry. Our game is coming out next week. I'm 28. Most of my team is in and around our age. We got a few who are like, you know, I guess no older than early 30s. Or, you know, I think the youngest in our company is going to be like 24 or something.
Yeah, just ancient.
Yeah, which, of course, 24, that's ancient. Yeah. Which, you know, sometimes I feel like I may as well be 24 because the last few years have just, like, disappeared and I don't know what happened. Yeah. So get ready for that if you're younger than us. It's, fun. But, like, even just talking to, just like a friend of mine, I think he's like 20 and is in the games industry. And it's just interesting because it's like, well, to him, like, Portal is a boomer game.
That hurts my soul.
Like, if you were born in, like, 2002 and Portal came out in 2007, like, if you're, like, you know, if you're, like, a toddler, you're not playing that game. Yeah. And that means you're not thinking about horse armor in Oblivion.
We have to be the bastion for people to come after, like.
We were there when horse armor happened. Yeah. We saw it happening. We grabbed the hard drives from our friends' Xboxes to do jiggery pokery to unlock the DLC for Oblivion in a way we weren't supposed to.
Actually on that specifically,
I've seen things you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, attack DLC off the etc. But I think I've seen pushback recently towards the idea that horse armor was ground zero. I've seen people try to historical revisionism that. One, I think it is the thin end of the wedge, and obviously, like people, clearly there was other things, other monetization, other industries and stuff, but it was like that was one of the things that was the part that people started to accept it. We have that in mind, whereas we have people now who look at gacha and go, well, "That's all right." Yeah, they're like, Jesus Christ, no, that is hell on earth.
Well,
the only reason hell on earth is still allowed is because we don't have personal nuclear weapons.
Wow. Good example though, like we're a very clued in audience, so whenever they try to turn turn Battlefront 2 into like a gacha, but instead of anime girls it's guns, whenever they did that, broadly speaking, people who play games said, hey, this is not cool, we do not like this, and the game suffered and they changed course, right? And that was pretty damn good to see. But if you look at a niche of gaming where people are generally is not like clued in as maybe, you know, self-identifying as someone who plays games. Football games, Madden, etc. We have the likes of FIFA Ultimate Team, where like FIFA Ultimate Team is straight up a mega exploitative gacha game of buying power. It's really crazy.
If you see 15-year-olds on Twitter talk about gacha games, you're like, hell is opened. The dead walk among us and they're all evil.
Yeah, because now it's like, cool. So your pocket money is going into your, I don't know, Monzo Kids account and then instantly turning into a 2% chance of getting Ronaldo. And it's pretty rough, right? I guess it's... The developers on the WoW team would never want any of this bad shit to happen to their game, and they'd be pissed. But if Bobby Kotick could, you know, if Bobby could pull some of this shit in WoW, he would.
Easy.
If he thought he could get away with it, he would.
Easy.
Right? And that's ultimately the thing. We cannot trust them. Now, at least, you know, the Embracer guy seems to get it. Sometimes, you know, you look at what you call him, the absolute Uber man. Strauss Zelnick. Coolest man on the planet. I mean, obviously, there's some rumbly things that Take-Two does.
Such as release the GTA trilogy on Steam there recently, completely broken.
Totally stupid. Actually, you know what? Whatever rabbit hole I was going to go into with Strauss, I've completely forgotten it. But anyway, it's just bizarre, and I guess the reason why we're hard on this shit is because, you know, we want to defend a free and not literally free as in free and open society, but like we do want video games to feel open, to feel accessible, to be non-exploitative, to be sustainable, and to be aligned with maximum human good, because they are a force for that. You know, at their best, they teach us new skills. They give us social bonds where maybe otherwise we couldn't have had them. And yes, there's downsides to everything. But the worry, I guess, for the likes of us is that a lot of that great stuff could be diminished in the future, and that kids will grow up. And I guess, I don't know, it's like as I grow older into that age where maybe you start to think about kids, or even, you know, a few people in the industry who are a few years ahead of us, and they've talked about, like, you know, oh yeah, I can't let my kid in YouTube anymore. I remember the time it auto-played to basically softcore porn.
Yep, sound. Normal, where we live in hell.
Yeah, and that was like even within the YouTube Kids app. That's years ago, and I imagine YouTube would fix that up, because YouTube actually do take those problems pretty seriously, proactively. I mean, because they know they'll get sued to death. But you know, you just wonder about like that new normal, because normal is only what's normal to you, and a lot of these big games companies they want to change what normal is.
Yeah, it's like someone there said the kids now are conditioned to believe $20 skins are normal. $20 games used to be normal. Yeah, well, not quite like that, but you know, $20 games for the PC in the store in the middle of the street used to be, God, I'm old.
Yeah, yes. Pretty rough. So I mean, I don't know, man. That's it's a lot of why we do it.
We've mused again for a while, yeah. But I think this is important stuff. I would like to invite all the gaming children around a campfire, and we can sing them tales of back in the day. Remember when you bought a video game and then you went home and you put it in the computer, which is a novel enough concept in itself, and then you played it and it was done, and then you went, fantastic. That was it. That's it. As opposed to, sorry, if you get a part-time job to play this game properly. Oh no.
Yeah, and of course you then think about the play-to-earn hellscape, where, is play-to-earn going to be as literally dangerous as children in a diamond mine? No, but...
mentally, probably.
I mean, can you think of a situation where someone's kid is playing Axie Infinity for 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
To grind some crypto token? Mm-hmm. Because that could happen. Don't want that, right? And then, like, that's productivity going into some weird fake economy that's, like, it's just the dirty invented bullshit. So, yeah, I think it is just to say there's a lot of stuff to worry about on the horizon. Now, that also said, there's lots of great things to look forward to in the horizon. We never want to lose vision of that. Personally, I'm super hyped for Starfield. I'll admit it. I love space. I always have. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16, which is probably going to be like properly my big first FF game. Like I've played like 8. I mean, I've played maybe 8 to 15 hours of Final Fantasy 13, which is obviously nothing. It gets good when you're in Grand Pulse, apparently. But anyway, so look, there is good shit to look forward to. And actually, for World of Warcraft, there is so much good shit to look forward to. Sure so, it is broadly speaking happy days.
But that's because the developers included have fought for it. Yeah. They were, this is it. This is World of Warcraft is one of the gaming wins where we went, listen, we liked the way it was because it was better. Have it that way.